Alright guys, welcome to another video. We're finally doing our JP tier list. I knew eventually we'd have to do JP content, and here we are. I guess first thing we start off with is that there was a recent ban list that happened. It's kind of why we waited. We wanted to do this earlier in the month, but we knew the ban list was right around the corner, so we were waiting until after the ban list to be announced. There weren't really a lot of changes. The only things that changed were Cordelia's Garden went from limit 1 to limit 2, so now you can play 2 of it in the deck that you weren't really already playing that card. And then Hina, Luck, and Logic, what is it? What are the people called? The Merlin, the level 1.
Yeah.
And
the 1/1 teacher, yeah.
Yeah, 1/1 teacher that made it very consistent to like quad merge in one turn is no longer around. So now that set is basically dropped a tier or two. Is there anything noteworthy about the ban list you guys want to talk about?
I still don't think you play Cordelia's Garden even at 2. Maybe you can try to fit it in, but like the Milky Homes just has so many other good cards that have a lot more impact than that card, but I could be wrong. It still merits a bit of testing.
Yeah,
Logic is still the strongest merge deck.
Now that Cordelia's at 2 or whatever, then it's kind of like, maybe it's playable because it's more consistent. You'll see it more often, but it just didn't do enough.
Yeah.
It wasn't very impactful. All right. Besides that, I guess we'll get into the tier list. So we broke up the tier list into 4 tiers here for Japanese because there's just too many sets. And then we have this last tier called the Not Enough Experience tier. It's because either none of us have enough experience with those sets to really quantify whether the set is amazing or not. I mean, if it's a set that's like in the first 3 tiers in JP, we'll let you know that that's what at least Japan thinks. But we'll just get to that whenever we can. I guess, what, you guys just want to start at the bottom again? Start at tier 4?
Chioko.
Oh, well, I mean, just to clarify the tiers too, because we always had this. We switched over to the numbered system because I think there's too much. People have too many definitions for their own lettered tiers. S tier doesn't mean the same to everyone, whereas I think the numbers here are like it's a lot easier to quantify or like understand that like tier 1 are like decks you expect to be doing very well at regionals and topping all the time. Tier 2 is like decks that are almost as good as that. Tier 3 are ones where it's like they're good, but you're probably playing it because you like it. And tier 4 is just like the only reason you're touching this set is because you really, really like the anime or whatever. It's the only set you have access to.
Hey, I see a problem with this already. Where's Melty Blood on this?
You're right. Melty Blood goes here. Basically, anything we don't have here is going to be on tier 4. I think the one thing we're missing here that would go somewhere here would be Card Capture Sakura, but a Card Capture Sakura is so early out that I'm not sure where it's going to place. I guess we'll kind of touch up on it right before we close.
Friendly reminder: Batman Ninja is a Japanese set. If you go to a WGP,
only in America though, right?
Oh, is it only America?
I think North America is the only place you can play it. You can't play it in Japan or anything. I could be wrong though. I don't really care. That set sucks.
I would actually say instead of starting off from like the bottom, we could just do sets like set by set and just say like where we think the set is.
Oh, like how it's ordered here?
Yes.
All right. So let's just AOT, I guess. AOT.
Tier 2.
Tier 2 and JP easy.
Yeah. We don't have to discuss this, right?
No, I don't think so.
Apocrypha.
Yeah, Apocrypha's tier 3. It's serviceable, but it's not good.
Yeah.
Is Excel World good?
Excel
or is it like 3 or 4?
Excel World
I think
is
it depends on the matchup. It's kind of like the English conundrum with it. Like if you get reverses with it, it's really, really good. But if you face off like against like a standby deck or just a Wally deck where they say you can't reverse me, it kind of flounders again. I would also put it in 3.
You think 3? I would say it's probably more of tier 4 because since Japanese is so open, I feel like the top end is just so much weaker compared to everything else. It's so random, not consistent at all.
I mean, with some of the other decks, I would feel is like tier 4 material. I don't think it's that bad.
Okay.
But that's just me. We can.
I mean, I think its mid game doesn't do anything though. Like we're dropping what level 3.
You have early play healers. Yeah, early play healers. That's about it.
Yeah,
and I don't think they're that big.
They don't have any staying power. It's just the issue.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Okay. Tier 3 or tier 4? What do you think?
I still say 3. Dean, cast the tiebreaker vote here. Where are we putting this?
4, because I'd never seen it played.
Okay.
4 it is. Bang Dream.
Tier 1, easy. I don't
Yeah.
think there's anything to discuss there.
It just has so much utility, multiple top ends that are good. Green is pretty powerful in Japanese because we got a good early play now that heals the memory, which is like pretty unique because you can heal off things you don't want to see anymore, and like it's like gives you extra compression sorta. So that third refresh is gonna be really spicy. And
You know what else heals to memory?
What?
Summer Pockets.
Oh boy! Oh, Summer Pockets does. I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
We'll get there, I guess. Chain Chronicles.
Tier 3, I guess, or tier 4.
I don't play
Tier
it
3 or
enough.
4.
I
I
feel
played
like
it a
it's
little bit
4.
when I was over in Korea. It still feels like it would be serviceable enough to be tier 3. Just because I think the top end, I could be misremembering this, but it's non-interactive, although it's very stock heavy.
Yeah, I don't really. Okay, so we had one local player that played this set a bunch, and then like I looked it up a lot because I was thinking of buying it, but it didn't look fun, and everything looks so like rigid.
It's very vanilla, yeah.
I think it's tier 4 then, yeah.
All right, we can throw it.
I think it's just too vanilla to like do anything else really. Cinderella Girls, something that should have come off the ban list, but no.
Tier 3, I think.
Tier 3. Dean?
Yeah.
I have very little experience with Cinderella Girls.
Yeah.
I think
okay.
the fact that the ban list is restricting it that heavily, like, I don't think you can put it in tier 2 just because your choices in deck building kind of like decisions are very limited. I shouldn't say limited, but they're, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
A lot of the good utility cards are
It's just gone.
restricted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Clanad.
I guess tier 4. Like, the set's
Yeah.
not garbage. It's serviceable, but, like, it doesn't do anything.
All right. DC.
I want to say not enough experience with the current metagame.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it. Isn't it just old? Put it in 4.
No, it's not. No, there was a new set, but so like the level 1 climax combo is uninteractive. It's like it's got some good points
Yeah, the
if I
top.
remember
I think
correctly.
the top end for was it DS, right? Is the milling combo kind of like IMAS or Ronco? It's probably tier 4 material, maybe tier 3 if we can probably find stuff to make it tier 3 because the set is just so big. But we don't see
It's
it
still
enough.
on the ban list.
Yeah.
Xylophone is still on the ban list.
Yeah. But yeah, the set's so big and we don't have enough experience to really quantify it. But if I had to guess, it's probably like tier 3-ish. What is this, Bunko?
Not enough experience for me.
This one's Fantasia Bunko, right?
I guess I've never.
Yeah,
seen
I
any
think
of
that
the
one's
Bunkos played.
Fantasia, and then the one from what is it, High School DxD or whatever. That other girl, I think, is Sneaker.
Just not enough experience, right?
Yeah,
I haven't even
I
looked
think I
at
played
any
against
list.
the deck like maybe once, and I don't know. It didn't feel like it did anything like too interesting, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if someone watching this video wants to comment about it below, go ahead and inform us about how good or bad this set is. I think in the JP list was this. I think the one they showed recently was this like tier 3 or tier 2. I think.
It's probably like tier 2 or tier 3. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, Fate? No, it's probably tier 2 or 3.
Oh,
It's like it has like a lot of Ozzuses as a free fresh. I guess those are cool.
It has a really good like mid game combo in green, right? It's like pretty. Like I don't play it enough, but I mean Tyler plays it at our locals. I think it's tier 2 worthy.
it's a generic Shimakaze on a gold bar, so I don't know if we want
It's a
to.
vanilla with it has Shimakaze sex. So
Yeah.
it's a 6/5.
Yeah, but I mean it's level 2 game.
has a
Doesn't it
vanilla
have like a
power.
changer into the 3/2 support that also summons other stuff? That's like
Yeah,
it's
it's
super
not
value.
bad.
It's just a super value play deck, right?
Yeah,
And then I mean like you have other meme decks like the the Burn 5 list that was it people call Laser, right? And
Yeah, Burn 6.
Or Burn 6 where you just like top deck a bunch of stuff. It just has the utility now, and like pretty much after like level 1 or something you don't really care about traits anymore, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Darling in the Franxx.
I have never played against this set.
I have.
I have
It
as
seemed
well.
like pretty bad.
It's like
3 or 4.
yeah, it's probably tier 3, I think, because it's kind of like looking logic, but just worse in a way.
It's worse than neutered Luck and Logic.
Probably, yeah. GGO, I think, is in tier 3 as well.
Yeah.
And it's the top end isn't amazing, but everything heading into the top end is like pretty good. Do you think being able to just like the triple early play is just you can't defend it. It's not even worth talking
I was like,
about.
the triple early play doesn't even do anything. Like, it heals you, but then, yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah,
You have to play it
you
every
can't.
turn.
Yeah, the problem is you can't defend it at all. Like once you drop it, Goblin Slayer, easy A, right?
Tier one.
Tier 1. I mean,
Easy, yeah.
yeah. I don't even
Both
think
like 8 gate and like gate pants are just so good at what they do and so consistent because of the level 1 combo that there's no argument there.
Gochi Usa.
Is that 2 or 3? I mean, it's got like a Shimikaze, right? So like, that's what it uses.
Yeah.
The plus hand, right?
There's 2 decks. One deck is like uninteractive plussing, but it's random, whereas the one that's mostly played is Shimikaze.
I just want to put it in tier 2 because that finisher is still pretty dumb.
Yeah, but at the same time, Sunshine got that finisher in like a better shell, and I don't even think Sunshine's tier 1. I could be wrong, actually.
I would say tier 2.
Tier 2? I think
it's
can
fine.
see tier 2. Godzilla, I have like no experience.
Johnny is the spookiest Godzilla player. I want to put this in like tier 1, but it's probably like we took a look at the deck, he was playing like a green.
It's probably
bull.
like 3 or 4. It's not
yeah,
that
I'd probably
bad.
say tier 3. It's serviceable. It does stuff.
Is that right?
Yeah, I would say 3.
It has double claw kick anywhere on the board into a 20k hexproof bodyguard. Pretty strong.
Oh man! All right, the poor baby,
2.
looking logic. Tier 2 now, right?
I'll put it at 2. Just
I think
because it's still like.
Go ahead.
Oh, you can still like. The early plays aren't nearly as good as they used to be. Because like there's only one left that I think you can still play.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like still the best merge deck.
Yeah, you lose Merlin, so you lose the consistency of being able to like quad merge out and just like laugh and have your opponent have to deal with that type of board. What's the level 3 that cantrips again? What's it called?
My hero.
Yeah, that one's like pretty good. The only issue I have with it is like you're not going to consistently be able to like triple early play, which you told us that's not the play to like triple early play.
I think like you double and then like in your last lane is always like utility card like an Azusa or like a Twin Drive.
Yeah, I mean that could be a thing. But I mean the deck is still like pretty solid. You have more room now, I guess, to play around with like level 1 combos, or are we still like running like wild 8 gate build? You think?
I would personally I'm personally going to be trying the it's just a Minami. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's like a 7k Minami, but like the nice thing about it is like in the 8 gate list, you couldn't slam climaxes ever. Like if you slammed a climax, your hand would like dissolve because you need to have so many cards going into it. With the Mahiro merge, it's like you don't need nearly as much because like you're not going for that big turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're only going for like maybe 2.
Yeah.
And then hopefully an assist behind it. I think it's
you can probably get like
tier 2
triple,
for
right?
now.
You can probably get 2 plus the back row support off, maybe.
Yeah,
Pretty
that's
consistently?
like the goal. I'm gonna have to play around with it a bit, but like tier 2 pending, it might be tier 3.
Yeah, it's like in between right now, just because there's not enough testing right now. But I think it's still like could easily be tier 2 if like that turns out to be pretty decent. Anything worth saying, Nico?
Nope, I agree.
All right, Project Diva,
Tier 1.
tier 1.
I think so.
Tier 2.
Why? Why do you think it's tier 2?
It's surrenders board nonstop.
It surrenders board, but it also has a card that pretty much says I can refill my hand for like the cost of a damage or 2. And then the end game is very, very consistent in the fact that you're pretty much always going to be...
It does have a really consistent... I don't know that,
Okay, so
like...
this is the argument why I think it would be tier 2, is because generally it's agreed upon, a gold bar is like the deck to play. It's super solid,
Yeah.
but the thing that the gold bar deck does really well is the compression, whereas like the timing for it, like you can really hurt the set by just like around level 2 you just like hit them with stock swap and they're just like, oh, this sucks. Like most likely I've like now stocked away 4 climaxes and I literally want to die. It's definitely like the type of gambly deck where if you're having a really good game and your opponent can't answer like how the stock compression works and everything, like I think it wins more often than not. But I don't.
So the reason why I don't like really agree with it, and we'll kind of like get it down to it, I guess, as we go with the sets, is but so far, outside of Bang Dream, and I think like Fate, if you run heavy green, which of the set can stock swap you?
IMAS.
So it's, yeah, there's IMAS, there's Sword Art Online, OG Sunshine, or not OG Sunshine, OG Love Live.
OG Love Live, yeah.
Yeah, which has now become like way more relevant again. I mean,
I suppose.
Yeah. And then
stock swap is the one thing that like if you lose the stock swap, it feels really bad, and I don't think like you can expect to go in, especially with as diverse as this format is. I don't think you can go into a tournament with a deck that's like, oh, I insta lose the stock swap and then expect to get like first.
I guess that's a fair point. I can concede that.
Yeah, it's like stock swap's like the great equalizer. Oh, Summer Pockets has stock swap as well, right?
And then I feel like as good as that 2-0 event is, like every time I see it being played, it's like they're over there just killing themselves. Like they're like clock drawing like 5 times in a turn, and you're just like, oh, that's like cool that it's like plussing them so much, but it took a lot of damage to do that.
Yeah, it's like in a really weird spot because it consistently does what it wants to do, but it like you do take some damage. This is the same. I think the same problem that like the Fate deck has sometimes, because I know some lists run the Clock Encore support, so all your characters have Clock Encore, and then like sometimes just taking those extra damages is not very worth it overall. But it's kind of okay for Fate because it has a really good mid-range game, whereas Project Diva is just looking to maximize compression and maximize its level 3 turn, right? And compression for the most part. So yeah, they just have like different strategies, whereas Fate is like on board is what they want to do, and then Project Diva is more like waiting for their level 3 game, comboing and hopefully winning through compression. All right, Million Live.
Is this tier 2 or tier 1, Dean? Or do you think this is tier 3? Tier 2? Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah. It also has the Project Diva problem of losing to stock swap.
And it doesn't matter what build you play, there's like something horribly wrong with it. Either you're trying to sandbag through level 1 to get to level 2, you don't have a level 3 climax combo. I mean, like, the top end's really spooky. Wait, where do we put Konosuba? It's probably about the same tier as Konosuba. Do we put Konosuba at 1?
I think Konosuba's at 1, but it just does kind of what Million Live wants to do, but better. Do you kind of agree with that, or what?
I don't know. 3-7 event is pretty disgusting.
3-7 event is disgusting. Absolutely agree. But
so like 3-7 event and then being able to put down finishers after.
That's like, also pretty disgusting.
It has a really big reach in like how like hard it can scum out a game.
I feel like with Konosuba, it almost has like a normal game plan as far as like scumming out games, whereas Million Live, you're just kind of all in on scumming out the game.
I mean, like, I like the Makoto combo. I mean, like, there's like different builds you can try. Yeah. I think it's like, regardless of what build you build for Million Live, you're usually ending with like 13 stock by level 3 and able to do like 3-7 event into something else. The set just builds like a million stock. It's kind of disgusting.
Yeah. So wait, are we kind of pushing this into tier 1, or are we going to keep this in tier 2?
I think leaving it at tier 2 is fine.
I'm kind of neutral. I think it's like almost tier 1 status.
In between right now.
Yeah, I think tier 2. Mainly because it also has like similar problems to what certain other decks have, where it loses a stock swap. I personally think maybe the community, and I know Dean will probably agree with me, the level 1 game is really, really, it hurts.
It's got like a lot of cool choices.
Yeah,
I think, but
well, sure. I mean,
I'm not like really gonna defend it too hard.
Okay.
I think it's like tier 1 as far as finishing power goes. Probably got the highest reach of any deck.
Yeah, the end game is absurd, but at the same time, like everything leading up to end game is not very.
This level 0 game is disgusting too.
Oh yeah, the level
Yeah,
0
that's true.
game is pretty good.
All right.
I mean, maybe we can push it up to 1, just because I think the only really weak level it has is level 1.
Yeah, level
Up
tier
to
1 then, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Now this is tier 2.
This tier 2.
It's broken.
Have you been messing around with stuff or what?
I've been wanting to like mess around a little bit more, but I don't know. It's got stock swap. It's got like Azusa.
Yeah,
It has,
standby
like,
now,
rules.
right?
Yeah.
Standby.
Your
What?
standby
Standby
targets
gate
are
is like
They're garbage.
pretty spooky. What?
A lot of the standby targets are pretty bad. You're playing like 2/2/9/5s that like eat stock every turn if they don't die. If you hard play them, it's but it does have like stock swap. It does have a decent like Prillia top end.
Maybe we push this to tier 3. It feels like the top end, or not the top end, but like just getting to the top end might be like the troubling part. But the top end's pretty decent, right? It has like
it has the Hibiki combo from like Million Life. Like Million Life gave it quite a few tools.
Mm-hmm.
They got like climax comboless restands.
Okay.
That if you combo with the gate can be like Marika.
That's true.
They're really dankless.
They're really dankless. You're right. Well, let me ask this then. Like, what does it do that against these other top sets that like no other set really does well?
Oh, it has stock swap and yo.
Is that it? Like, are we making like the great equalizer between tier 2 and tier 3 is like access to stock swap here, basically?
Tier 2 is only decks that lose to stock swap and decks with stock swap. No, it's like probably tier 3, but I'd like to see it in tier 2.
I'm gonna pick tier 3. I feel like tier 3 is like representative enough of it. Like maybe it could be pushed to tier 2 in some cases, but I don't see a
Tap 2
meta how the
Brainstorm's
meta
pretty
is right
bad.
now. Which one?
But that's
Oh yeah,
Tap 2
tap 2 brain. It still only has tap 2 brainstorms.
Yeah, but your brainstorm gives you soul.
Also,
if you play climax, and it lets you top check.
Yeah.
Broken.
All right, Kantai Collection.
I haven't played against Fifth Fleet enough to actually know whether it's good or not.
So I haven't played Fifth Fleet much, but it's just like in all the theory.
It looks good on paper.
On paper, it looks good, but I think in practice, it's just not enough. Especially with the bans still in place. Oh wait, the bans are still in place, right? It's still.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like it's tier 3.
I don't know the set.
I actually just want to put it in not enough experience, just because I've never played against a new build.
I don't know. I've watched a lot of match videos too. It just feels like it doesn't do a lot. One of the good combos is like takes up like 8 slots in your deck basically, which feels bad. That 1/1 blue combo. I feel like most of the level 1 games still like either you're playing Prince or you're playing some other like wacky level 1 game that just doesn't do enough. I'm gonna put it in tier 3 unless any of you guys want to argue.
Like I said, if you're saying you've watched games where you think it's tier 3, that's fine. I don't want to comment because I don't have experience playing against Fifth Fleet.
Okay, tier 3 it is. Kimono Friends.
Tier 1 in my heart.
Tier 2.
Tier 1 in my heart. I think it's tier 2 also.
Yeah.
Dean, you think
I think
tier 2
maybe
or
it could jump up a tier. Like you said, you're seeing an increase of like kimono decks in Japan, but
Dang, you have memory compression. You can get like 10 cards in memory and like 20 stock. Okay? It's pretty powerful. And then you stare at your opponent as you play down vanilla healers and crash your board every turn. Powerful.
You're pretty right. Like one of the biggest strengths I always find of Komodo is that its memory compression is like absurd at times. That you can just put like 6 cards in memory and they're just gone out of the game forever, and they're cards you don't even really want to see again. The Kaban going to memory hurts some of these decks like in the top tiers. So what? Like we have it hurts like AOT if you go Mikasa top end. It hurts Million Live a little bit because it can't do the standby combo. What's up?
Goblin Slayer. Oh, does Goblin Slayer have burn
Goblin
ones?
Slayer
That's
doesn't
their
have
only
burn
thing.
ones.
Or it's
Oh, well,
burn
it
two.
hurts.
No, 8 gate. If you're playing 8 gate, it kind of hurts it.
It turns off yellow Goblin Slayer completely.
Oh yeah, that's true. But no one really
Yeah.
plays that seriously. I think I've seen mixes of like yellow red, but I'm not sure how powerful that actually is because I haven't seen it stick around. Because I think everyone just kind of realized it just wasn't good enough.
They've been printing a lot of like Mikasa type effects.
Oh, it also
every one of
hurts
those.
Gochi Usa and Sunshine now.
Yep.
I think it's a solid tier 2. It just against most sets, it just plays its boring compression game. It also has free fresh in the form of a character, which is always good. You can start playing it at level 1, so once you're out 8, because by turn 3 you're going to be out 8 if you're Dean, you can refresh immediately. It's pretty good. I think also one thing people don't value enough is that standby into line is like really good.
Oh, as like an extender for plays.
Yeah, it's like
It also
not a
pays out the
consistent.
standby.
Yeah, it's not a consistent like extender, but it's just like those times you get it after starting from level 2. You just do it because you're just like I get an extra swing this turn. Why not for like basically one stock? But you do lose out on the hand. But usually at that point you're like compressed enough that you can just like brainstorm and hit 2 like every turn, so it's not horrible. It's still kind of like sacky in a way, but I mean all the other utility around it, like the coin flip cards and all that, make it so you can
Mine's also
do
just
that.
like a good card if you hard play it.
Yeah, if you ever need to get a healer or something out of waiting room, you can just hard play it and pull something out that you need, like a serval or something. And the set also has the 3/3 event, which is decent.
Oh, another thing is like it has the really broken is it Kome? Is that what it is? It has the Tsuchinoko.
Oh, Tsuchinoko,
promo.
yeah, the Kome effect. It's like when it goes away room, top check 4, add a yellow climax hand, discard a card or whatever.
Yeah, and like if you don't find a climax, you don't have to discard. It's just a free mill for it. It's a pretty good card.
Yeah, it's really good deck manipulation. And if you do play a yellow climax in the top end or something, like if you decide to play Serral Restander, you can just play Tsuchinokos. I mean, you could probably get away with playing like one stock soul and like try to find it off of Tsuchinoko.
Oh, that'd be super spicy.
That'd be really spicy. All right. Fake Inuyasha.
Yeah,
Renee?
not enough.
I've played against it a few
this set,
times.
like once.
I feel like it's like down here. Its top end like hurts is like really dumb. Well, not dumb. It's just it can double clock kick basically.
Double.
But the problem is like most people are like if you're gonna reverse something at level 3, most people already have multiple copies of it out on the field or in their hand. So you're not gonna like I think it's like top check 5, right, of your opponent's deck.
It's something like that.
Something
You
like
just
that.
top check
You're
and
not
try
gonna
to
find the
another
card
copy.
that you reversed there most of the time. I think it was a really interesting set when it first came out, but nowadays it just doesn't do enough at all.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
All right, Konosuba S tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those that play English only, like Konosuba JP is completely different than English because we have access to a PR card that lets us like ditch the level 3 Mega Man and bring it back to our hand and get a free stock. Basically, you can consistently like get 15 stock to like blow your load really hard at level 3 and like kill most people from like 2-4 easily. And then,
I'm so glad they printed that PR. That set really needed extra power.
heck yeah, dude.
It also has
they
a
should
lot.
print more good stuff for it.
It even has like really strong deck options too. Like if you're scared of like things like Priestess Wall, there's this Aqua that just blinks a card on and off the board.
Oh yeah, and then they gave it like level 1 power pump cards that power like if you're afraid of like not being able to get reverses or your 106k combo, the PR combo isn't big enough. You just play this level 1 Union that on attack gives something 2,500 power, and just give it over there.
That's a lot of power.
It's a ridiculous amount of power. So yeah, S tier. I don't think there's any argument there. Kisniver,
Tier 4.
tier 4.
4.
The set doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
All I know is I've been told it doesn't have a brainstorm. That's all I need to hear.
Little Busters.
This is tier 0, baby. Outside of the memes, I think it's probably tier 3. High tier 3, low tier 2 if we're going off that.
3.
It has, like, if you're playing, like, the real deck with the 2 souls and stuff, it can get its game plan off fairly consistently if you're drawing your climaxes and stuff. The problem is you're surrendering board on defense every turn. Like, I don't know, man. It's
You don't
got
care
some.
when you're pushing damage.
You're right. Who cares when you stick your opponent to 2-1 after 2 turns?
I think even outside of the 2 soul build, its other stuff is pretty consistent. You said you guys want to put this in tier 3, you said, or was...
I want to say low tier 2, high tier 3.
Low tier 2?
Because it's still, like, so it's got decent enough finishing option. Well, I shouldn't say decent. It's got a clock kick, it's got Musashi's, and it's got money counter.
Yeah, the clock kick's like clock kick and burn 3, right? Or was it
Yeah.
burn 2?
Isn't it 1?
Oh, it
I
might
don't
be
know.
burn 1. I don't remember. I think it's like tier 3 material, honestly.
After playing the deck a couple of times, I thought it sucked, so that was just me.
Yeah, I've played against Little Busters a lot, and I just, like, a long time ago I was really impressed with it because you could play 2 soul with the level 1 combo, but nowadays, like, I don't think that's, like, enough. Like, this is a very gambly deck, basically, is how I see it if you're playing the 2 soul build. And if you're not playing
It's
the 2 soul
immune to
build,
stock swap, dude, because you don't even know what you're stocking away.
you're right. Broken. Tier
Hurts me.
0. No, but I just think it's not good enough to make it past tier 3 with everything else that's going on with it.
I agree.
Log Horizon tier 4.
Yeah.
I don't know what Japanese. I don't know the power of Sega, but sure.
It has it has like a functioning level 1 climax combo now. That's about it.
Mhm.
Everything else is the same, and it's got an okay-ish early play.
All right.
Okay.
OG Love Live. This personally, I think it's like tier 2.
I don't have enough experience playing it with the new cards, and I haven't seen any matches, so I'll leave
It
this
has
one to you.
Fumio.
Yeah, they have Fumio. They have like a lot of good
Stock
stuff.
swap.
They have their level 1 climax combo game is like just compression game basically. It has access to man, what else is going on in this set that's like really decent? I mean, it's like a lot of the new stuff really helped it out a lot. And you know, just being able to have access to that old utility is always really, really good too. I feel like it's tier 2. You're kind of in agreement, Dean?
I don't pay attention to the idols.
That's true.
Don't you own Million Live?
I do. Those are good idols.
All right, buddy.
Okay, I'm gonna put this like preemptively in tier 2, just because I think with the utility it has and the everything that's going on with it from the new set, it's really powerful. I mean, like, you can see like it's being bought out in stores and everywhere for the most part, but also, you know, those old cards are kind of hard to find sometimes. I think preemptively tier 2, but it's kind of like Nico said, I'm not sure we have enough experience to say it's anything else really.
Yeah.
So like, I guess kind of take that with a grain of salt.
I think the same thing with Sunshine, honestly, too. I don't have enough experience with the new cards to see if it bumped it up. Like, what, the old Sunshine stuff was tier 3, you would say, without the new set?
Was it? Oh, after the ban list?
Yeah, after the
Yeah.
ban list just kind of destroyed everything.
Yeah, pretty much. I think with the new stuff, it's probably in tier 2 as well.
Okay.
I've been seeing 8
You said it
standby
got
rolls.
the Gochiusa finisher, so...
Yeah, one version has the Gochiusa finisher. The other one is like 8 standby, which is really spooky in a way because, like I said, I think standby is just like really, really good. And like, I forgot, this didn't get a plusing standby combo, right? I'd have to relook at everything. I think it did
I don't
actually.
recall.
I think it did at level 1. I'd have to double check, but even without that, like, it just had like the decks that are going around now, either using like the Gochiusa top end like shell. It's like or it's Guilty Kiss, I believe, and then the one with I don't even know what the other bands are called because all the other ones suck. But the other group using Chica and stuff and Yo, that one is going around too, which seems pretty powerful. So I like preemptively tier 2, and this could change. It could be tier 1 or 2 or tier 3, especially since like after the ban list, we haven't had a lot of time to look how actually Look and Logic no longer being in tier 1, and like, I assume a lot of those people are going to move to different decks to see how like that actually affects the meta. But I think preemptive tier 2 is like fine, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, Modica.
With Magia Record, it's
Yeah.
probably tier 3, I guess. You said that the top end was like pretty
Okay.
spooky.
The top
But-
Isn't
end.
it like?
Go ahead, Dean.
Oh, I mean, I just seen like people post about it. Isn't it just like the pseudo standby combo into like Devil Homer at level 1.
Okay, so honestly, I think that shit is like Mimi for the most part. If it goes off, which it probably does most of the time, it's completely fine and pretty decent. But I think like the way it's played mostly is the level 1 combos like Shimikaze basically, and then you go into like top end being like Sayaka's plus Monica level 3. Or I've also seen like climax
She's the girl with
lists.
the basketball, right?
No. Well, I like that combo, but it's not really what's majorly being played out there. I think the Modica combo is better. It's like a gold bar combo that also burns 3 at Encore phase, I believe. I'd have to pull it up again to read it, but it's like a pretty solid finisher that you.
I would
like
just
3
throw
of.
in not enough experience then, just because I've only seen your build of it, and I haven't seen much else played. And
Yeah.
from what you guys are saying, you haven't seen like the quote unquote meta deck played, so I think it's fine to toss it in there.
All right.
Yeah.
If we had to guess, though, I'd probably say tier 2 or 3, though.
Yeah, I think it's like high tier high tier 3, bottom tier 2, but more on the tier 2 side of it, basically.
There's a tier 4 deck. All right.
Yeah. All right, that was easy.
We just had too bad the Banlist didn't help it out at all.
I know.
But yeah,
I was
sucks.
ready to unpack that deck that I bought that never got to play because Banlist. What's it? Milky Homes. Where are we?
I want to say tier 1 so bad, but I don't know, man. I think it's tier 2. Maybe Dean will disagree with me. I love this deck so much, but I think it's tier 2.
Phantom Thieves is broken.
Phantom Thieves is broken. Okay. I honestly think like it took so long for this to happen, but I actually think Milky Homes is basically tier 1, bottom. Of
I'm not
tier
going to
2,
argue
or
tier
top
1.
of tier 2.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue tier 1. It loses really hard to certain things, but it also has so many good tools, and the fact that you just kind of say, unless you have Suiciders or Reversers, or you're playing like Summer Pockets or something, something that can get over 10k at level 1, you're just pretty much telling your opponent they can't play the game.
Or anything that's like puck wall, like anything that's like super defensive, it makes it Milky like really hard to like front.
Well, I think Milky Homes doesn't have that problem. I mean, I guess against standby, Milky Homes like has trouble, and in my opinion, we're kind of like in like the meta phase of standby being infinitely really good right now. But I almost want to say tier 1 just because of how the deck can side most level 1 games that it has problems with. It only really loses to like level 1 reversers.
Well, even then, you can tech to stop level 1 reversers, and the tech isn't like a
really
bad
powerful
card. So
Yeah.
I would say tier 1 is fine for it, but it's one of those caveats where low tier 1, high tier 2 is probably fine.
Yeah.
I just hate what happens when your board gets answered. Like,
yeah, if your board
it
gets
feels
answered,
like
you
the
feel
worst
super
deck
bad.
ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Milky has always been to me, and like so many other people disagree with this, but every time I play it, it's like if my board gets answered, my hand is like 3 backups and like some garbage.
Yeah.
And like the only thing I can do is like put down the worst attackers I have. I don't know. That's just
I'll put it in tier 2. I think it's almost tier 1 worthy for sure, though.
Yeah.
I think what it does is powerful, but I just really hate the like.
No, Dean is right. If the level
bad things happen.
Yeah, if the level 1 board gets answered, if you somehow draw really bad, like it feels so bad.
Like when's like standby? When like the Fever Bang Dream when they play the bombs, like wouldn't that just like roll Milky over?
Yes,
I mean, you win one lane.
Yeah.
Because they you probably don't have triple out, right? So they put down like 2 bombs in your like Ellie lanes, and then they just like power pump the Fever Kazumi, and then you cry. Because the turn after, you don't really have playables.
Yeah.
That's pretty true. But like Nico said, you could tech for that if you want. But I guess like...
It depends on how you build the deck, and I think that's
the list
one of the
is so tight, right? So like
Yeah.
you don't really have the playroom to always mess around with that. Maybe there's been some opening up since, Hino Look and Logic is gone and you don't have to worry about like the quad board.
Yeah.
No Game, No Life. Just like what, tier 4?
I don't have too much experience with it, but if you guys say so.
Every time I've looked at it, it's like 3 or 4. Yeah.
I think the best deck is 8 standby, and even then, it's not amazing. It has some decent deck control because of the 1/1 event, And I guess if you're kind of building, well, I guess the biggest weakness is even though it plays like 8 standby, you can't defend its board because there's no 1/0 2K counter in the set.
There's a 1,000 power revenge trigger on level 0.
Yeah, I
It's on
think
your
that's
brainstorm.
like the best part about it is that you can like have double brainstorm out and then like pump 2 lanes like 1k each to hopefully push in the A5, making them unkillable. But generally, I think one of the other reasons it could be really good is that level 1 it has 1/1 anti higher level counter, which not a lot of sets have. So it's like kind of spooky. So I guess maybe it had a good looking logic matchup before, but not anymore after it's gone. I think tier 4 is probably fine. Not
I don't know
not enough
anything.
experience, right?
Man, on paper, this looks pretty good. Like a level 1 climax combo that you can just always get off for, well, I don't know. I guess it's the weapon formula deck.
Yeah.
All the new cards looked really good. I haven't seen the set played enough, though, to see for myself, though.
Same as well. I was told there was like some really spooky stuff going on, or I know some people in Canada like experimenting with it and stuff. But I still haven't seen enough of it to like really give it an answer. If I had to like guess from what I kind of know of the set, it's probably tier 3, honestly. But we'll put in the not enough experience. Osamatsu
3.
3.
It's got Azusa, Ricky, self-tap brainstorm.
Stock
It heals
swap?
the stock.
Does it have
No,
stock
just-
No.
No, it just heals. It just heals over and over again.
Yeah. It has that heal 6 meme as well, right?
Yeah.
It's got tap counter. I mean, like, it's got like non-interactive combo. Oh, okay, look, the tier 4 stuff seems pretty bad. So
I
like,
think
I'm
I'd
putting
be
this in
fine with
tier
putting it
3.
tier 3. Yeah.
I'm putting this in tier 3 just because
It's
it
got
has
enough
Azusa and
utility.
Ricky.
Yeah, it's got enough utility. It's level 1 climax combos on a gate. If you get the card in memory, the combo is non-interactive
It
to
plays
where
Gate Gold Bar. It's such
Yeah.
a good combo. Like,
So it's
Such good
top. It's
triggers.
top in. The only way it kills people is top in is
it heals forever.
man. I hate that as a top end.
Who's broken though? It's come and play neg 4/5.
Oh yeah, you're right. You can I'll give it to you guys. I don't play it enough. I know it's a pretty solid set.
I'm just like the tier 4 is such bad sets. It's like
I almost think Kirigahime or what is this? Excel World is like as good as Osamatsu, but I guess we'll just give it tier 3 for now.
cool.
Overlord, I think Overlord's easy tier 2.
yeah.
I don't know about it, so sure.
What? You've lost to it multiple times when I played
Yeah.
against
I lose to everything you
Yeah,
play.
so that's pretty true too. Overlord has a really good standby deck. I think that's basically what most people are on. Its game plan is compression. It has what is it? Rest counters that are characters, so it's salvageable, kind of like ReZero. What else is going on with it? I can't remember right now.
Direct attack stock charge.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, it is like a compression based deck for the most part. Top in, you have like a couple different top ins you can go for. You can go gate top in for like an extra attack at level 3, or you can go the blue route and like burn or put cards back in your opponent's deck depending on the game state. And
Minus 500 power on play brainstorm.
oh yeah, destroys what?
Destroys a lot of random stuff. There's a
Yeah.
lot of just like random 500 power utility cards.
That's true.
Like think about
The anti-salvage
Aboto?
in
The-
Kantai, you can pop that. I know that.
what, Rascal, Bunny Girl, because they play down the thing that like the Rize, the My thing, Spanish, and you
Isn't
just
that
pop
1k
it.
power? I think it's 1k power, isn't it?
No, it's 500.
It's
No, it's
500?
500.
Oh.
Yeah.
I never kill anything with it, so I don't even pay attention to the power. I mean, yeah. I don't even think for Bunny Girl, I don't even think that's like the play to play.
But I'm just saying, like, there's
it
things that you
can
can
randomly
just
do things
pop.
to mess people up. Oh, Kaban, isn't Kaban 500 power?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kaban's a big one.
One thing that Overlord has going for it is it's so field based that like it's really hard for people to like beat over the board. Usually, like 2 lanes always survive. That's what it feels
And
like.
one
in
of
my
them
opinion.
is unlike other standby like combos, because they have the stand-up card that you played with standby. Most of those profiles are like pay 1 on a 1/0, but like the balancing, quote unquote, with this is that it's on a 2/1, so you don't have to pay 1, but the 2/1 early plays. So
Yeah.
when the 2-1 lives, because it's like a 7K before backup.
Yeah, well, it's usually it's 8K because the deck plays the bounce card that gives extra soul on play if you mill a soul trigger, and when you play climax, you bounce and give a character 1K till end of opponent's turn. So usually that lane is 8K at least without support.
So that thing is like a 10K post counter, and then when you play your second standby, it's like automatically more value than any of the other standby standards.
Mm-hmm.
It's worth noting.
All right. Persona 5.
Is this tier 1 still?
Oh man,
I think in Japan it's probably tier 3, right?
Yeah,
or
I think
maybe even tier 4.
I think it's easy tier 3.
Okay.
I mean,
it's just like Matsu. It just sits there and heals.
I think it's
and then your opponent dies.
You're right. I think it's easy tier 3 just because it fights for board, and some sets can't handle that. And it still has a decent like wind trigger combo, which is really good. Prism Illya.
Oh man, that's tier 1 in my heart. Like tier 3. I don't know.
Is it? I think it's like tier 4.
It has spooky. Every top end in is spooky.
Yeah.
Every time you sit across from a Prilly player, you might just randomly die. It doesn't matter where you're at in the game.
So JP Prilya has a lot of they have a lot of tools that English Prilya doesn't have. Like they actually have a functioning brainstorm, access to standby. Like the green deck is also pretty okay. I think it's tier 3.
You like your coin flip fate. You can play that in Prilya.
True. Okay, I'll give it to you guys. I feel like I don't really have enough to say about it to like argue.
I've always wanted the deck.
Puyo.
I want to say tier 3 also, just because before you hear me out or before we argue, if I know people like put this in the lowest tier, but Puyo's got decent enough level 0s. Like the only level 0 it doesn't have is an Azusa, but it's got that Maguro, so you have deck control there.
So my issue
you also have a level 1 combo. You have like an alternate level 1 combo where if your opponent levels up, you get to salvage. You have a hexproof support. You have early plays that have a fairly easy condition with a card you're probably already running, and the level 3 Arlay is pretty okay too.
Okay, I'll give it tier 3.
I know nothing about it. So
I don't know enough to like make solid decisions on Puyo. It's just every time.
So the problem with Puyo is like you're always giving up board.
Yeah,
that's the really sad part. Like your 5K Maguro at level 1 is probably siding most decks. Honestly, that's the really.
No, you crash for that soul damage.
Oh, you're right.
Learn to play.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of think it's more like tier 4 material, but I mean, it does have like a lot of spooky stuff. Isn't it the top in like a lot of burns too? Like burn ones on cancel.
Loses to Kimono.
True.
Yeah, it loses to Kimono, but it's what is it? Burn 1 on play, and then with the climax, it also gets another burn 1. So.
Okay, I mean, it's kind of what what's it called?
The early play you're playing cantrips, so like the card itself doesn't cantrip, but you have things to help you find the climax too.
Yeah.
And if you want to be really spooky, you can put the top end climax on a 2 soul to push more damage.
Oh man. You gotta side for 1 level 3s.
Yeah.
Review Starlight. I mean, I think Review Starlight's like tier 3 if we're gonna give Puyo tier 3, I think.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
I mean, it does a lot of good stuff. Standby list is pretty good and decent defensive deck. You could play mono yellow to be like really aggressive, or just have the yellow top in. It is an okay set. Rewrite.
I want to say tier 2, but I think with enough sets like coming out, it might have dropped down to tier 3.
So
just because a lot of sets kind of can deal with Rewrite's nonsense.
Yeah. So my argument would be if we're gonna put Milky Homes tier 2, I really think it is tier 3 then.
Okay.
Because it's just like Milky Homes, but not as spooky. And then like the top end isn't like top end can be spooky, especially because it can be used defensively, which is I think it's best strength, and it kind of just drops Kotori's at level 2 usually, right?
What are you talking about? Nobody plays Kotori, dude.
All right, but you play Kotori anyway. Yeah, I think sometimes it has issues with like hand size if like your board isn't set up very well.
And if your board gets answered, like what we just mentioned, like with Bang Dream Suiciders or something, and it doesn't have the Milky Homes option to like text stuff in against it.
I think one of the weaknesses too is the top. Okay, so the set has stock swap, but it also loses the stock swap. But the stock swap it's on a off trait card, right? So you have
Yeah.
to. The only way you get
Right?
it is if you draw it or if you
You have
brainstorm
two.
for it.
So you have the off trait card, or you can run the 2/2 event, but the 2/2 event is more memey because it requires you to have 3 blue characters on the field.
Yeah, and then so you brainstorm it, or you play Lucio level 3 early play, and like draw into it and hold on to it, or use it then. And the cost for it too is it's a 2/1, and then on play you get to ditch 2. Is it 2 characters or 2 cards? I forget. I think it's just 2 cards, right?
I think you actually, I can look this up real quick, but I think you also have to pay an additional stock.
Do you?
Like, it's not very good.
I don't really remember. Look it up really quick.
You
I
have
mean,
to
we have
burn
access to
two?
the internet. For what? No,
Yeah.
no. For the not the burn 2. The burn 2 is pay 3 ditch 2. Oh no, pay 3 ditch 1. Sorry.
Yeah, it's pay 3
but
ditch
the free fresh, not free fresh. The stock swap counter or not counter character is 2/1. I know you get to ditch 2. I think it's on play, but I don't know if there's an extra stock cost for it. But I mean, the ditch 2 really hurts for the set because the set doesn't really build hand size very well. So if you whiff too many brainstorms, you just kind of go, oh, it's cool. I have like 3 hand all game now. And you kind of want that hand for your level 3 game, especially to reactively on defense for the Shizuru, because that lets you top check and move top or bottom.
Okay, so it is just ditch 2. So
Yeah, I think the ditch 2 part is like hurts it a lot because the way the deck wants to play at level 3, especially if you ditch the Kotori route. But I think Kotori is the play.
yeah,
All right, ReZero. It's like
1.
tier 1.
You think so?
Good
With
card
the amount of
across the
time-
board.
Just remember, Bushiroad says they're monitoring ReZero.
Also true.
So I think it's actually
it's like the
like
best fair deck, right? I think.
yeah, it is a very fair deck, which is why I want to put it in tier 2. Like, it doesn't do anything too nonsensical, but I guess sometimes a fair deck is also really, really, really good.
It's like when you don't have like any filler cards, just every card in your deck is just good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have access to rest counter. What else do you have access to? I guess you have a brainstorm that bonds to a bottom decker. You have a early played bottom decker. You have the 2/1 counter.
The best anti-early play counter in the game.
Yeah, you have the clean cut Rem, right? Which is really,
Yeah.
really good.
Clean cut Ricky,
Mhm.
oversized runner is like the best level 0. Like it's like everything you want at level 0.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only still real weak part of the deck is level 3, right?
Yeah, but I think
But
like
at least it's so
the
good.
counters and stuff just like make up for it a lot.
Yeah, the fact that you have access to rest counters and stuff does help it quite a bit, too.
Yeah, especially when you're pushing for like early play healing and stuff like that. So you're trying to extend
Yeah.
the game. It's like one of those decks where like maybe if you just don't know what kind of meta you're walking into, you just take this in because there's no like really hard counter against it. It just solidly does what it always wants to do. And then since you have access to clean cut, it lets you be pretty aggressive at level 0 without having to like Ricky yourself nonstop.
Yeah.
All right, Sword Art Online as tier 1.
Yeah.
I assume so. I don't know if the new set gave it, but sure.
So I
It
think
gave it a Musashi and
the
it
new
also
set
got a
stuff
promo
doesn't
card,
even like
right?
yeah, but it has anti-heal and stuff like that now. But the new stuff didn't really help the deck that like most people should be playing. It's mostly still like people are playing like standby gate or standby gold bar, weird things like that, or gold bar gate. They're kind of still following Gara's build from Worlds. Is like pretty powerful. I see a lot of lists now run the coin flip Liz. Remember when we built a deck around that before, Dean? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
a lot
was,
of sets are doing that again because it's just like random
good.
free pluses, and then they're playing. I think they're playing standby in those lists, and it's just like constant free pluses for the most part because you're ripping out cards that don't let it plus.
And the card's pretty big. I mean, like you give up a reverse, but then it's a coin flip. So like standby or Fever Bang Dream can just randomly not be able to play the game.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
It does hurt that. Yep. Super. And like we said, it still has clean cut. It's one of the better clean cuts to have. Level 0 game's pretty solid. It has the green. I forget the character's name. Sugaha, is that her name? top
Yeah,
check
the
4
back
on
row.
climax play and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's super solid. This is going down here, right? Because none of us have enough
Yeah.
experience.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I
No
played
idea.
against it once. It didn't really. I don't know.
Ooh.
I didn't get to.
Guy at my locals bought like a $20 deck. It seemed pretty good. It had like Ricky and stuff in it for $20. I guess they have like an uncommon, so that's pretty cool.
All right. Bunny Girl.
Bunny Girl Senpai.
All right. So
You think it's top tier? I want you to explain this to me.
All right. I think this is another one of those sets that's like top of tier 1 or top of tier 2, bottom of tier 1. The reasoning is, like I've said for a long time, climax combos on standby that will also plus you hand are dumb and they shouldn't be in the game. But Bushiroad's giving it to us, so here we are. The level 1 game is easy to power pump. We have so many ways to power pump the 1-0 red that it can easily hit like let's see, 6 like 7, 5, 8k, maybe even 9k. I mean, if you want to give up 2 lanes, usually a lot of decks right now, if you look at all the top placing decks except for Goblin Slayer, they give up board for the most part at level 1. They don't really defend it very well. It's like Goblin Slayer and maybe Konosuba if you're playing like 1-0 2k counter or the 1-1 2k counter, maybe, then you can kind of contest it. But for the most part, you can almost consistently get 2 reverses off with the standby combo with power pump the set does have. And then its entire game plan is to kind of slam these 2/2 11Ks on the board, defend it with 3/5 counters, and then play a lot of early plays that just heal nonstop. And then once you hit level 3, from here you can kind of decide what way you go. Personally, I think the top check 4 one is like really solid because the set doesn't have stock swap or anything to force your opponent into like putting themselves in a bad deck state. So if you drop this, you can at least rip out a bunch of climaxes from their deck and hopefully get that damage you need to go through. Oh, also it has one of the big things about playing like standby gate for the list is that you have access to the bodyguard level 3 that also burns on reverse, and with the back row support it's like ridiculous. It's like 14k, and sometimes like people play double back row level 3 support, and then it's like 16k bodyguard, which pay 1 ditch 1 on whenever it reverses battle opponent, and it becomes absurdly difficult to deal with if you don't have a way to bounce it.
I guess that's fair. I just know every single time you played this against me, you've just kind of floundered. So
Okay.
that's
I
why
saw
I was,
you lose with it.
I always
against
complain
the
when I
shooter.
play this deck, but also I like complaining. And I did lose like a lot of dumb games. There was like games where I've like super far ahead and I just like randomly died. But I haven't put enough time into this set because I always get angry playing whatever build I'm playing. 'Cause I played standby when it first came out, and I was just like, I don't want to play this deck right now. One thing it did get though, that level 0 PR card, which is like clock yourself, top check 3, add 1 to hand, is pretty good, which it didn't have really before. But yeah, like I said a long time ago in my Discord, I thought the bodyguard green level 3 was going to make the set really, really good, and that was part of the reason the set's really good. The other reason being the standby combo is just absurd.
I mean, the green level 3 also has a witch hat, so that's pretty cool.
Yep. Any set that has a witch hat, instant tier 1. Let's move Monkey Homes up.
You're right.
Psychono, tier 3, I think.
Currently, it's probably tier 3. Yeah.
Just like quick notes on it. It does like what AOT does, but the level 3 game is like costless. Has a lot of memory compression. I think the fact that it has the memory compression could almost push it to tier 2, but it's just not good enough. It does nothing in like mid game basically. Summer Pockets I think is tier 2, but
I'll let you know once I get the deck in.
Can't talk, don't know.
Don't know.
Yeah. The couple times I played against it, it looked really, really good. It's so I've only played against it. I think it's the yellow-red build. If you whiff your climax combo, you are the saddest individual in the world. If you don't whiff your climax combo, you are probably the happiest individual in the world. So it's just kind of, I think tier 2's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
I watched
okay.
the fire build though. So.
I was really spooked by this set originally, so I watched a lot of match videos on it and stuff, and like asked around a little bit. I think it is a solid tier 2. I don't think it has like stock swap and stuff. I think Japan plays the green build a lot, like green mix build or whatever.
You show them 2 cards and they
yeah.
have to give you 1.
Which I think is a pretty solid combo because you still plus for the most part and it provides mill and all that stuff.
Then it's also just like usually like they show you 2 utility cards and you're like, wow, that's pretty cool. I don't want you to have either of these. Why aren't you playing vanillas?
I like when they do the combo and like it's like at level 2 they do the combo because they just have it again, and then they just show me 2 level 3s and I'm like, I don't want you to give you either of these. What is going on? It feels bad. One of the weaknesses is that your opponent kind of always knows what's in your hand because of it, for the most part.
It doesn't matter in this game.
It doesn't really matter.
Like, your opponent usually always knows what you have anyway. There's only like 1 or 2 cards in your hand where your opponent is typically curious as like whether they should be playing around it or not.
Just accept that your opponent's always high rolling you and has the perfect hand.
Yeah,
unless you see me in bracket, then you know it's 4 climaxes.
I'm gonna put it in tier 2. I'm pretty confident in like a tier 2 placement. All right, boys. So
tier 0.
Tier 0. I don't know how do I put it up here? Cycling broken.
It's tier 3 if we're being honest.
Yeah,
I think it's tier 3.
Honestly, it's probably tier 3. Yeah. Man, is it even tier 3? I almost want to put it in tier 4.
So bad.
It's pretty bad.
Oh, those tier 4 decks are pretty bad.
I don't think it's as bad as tier 4.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you that. Okay, so to defend Steins Gate just a little bit, I really like the cycling deck, but it sucks. I play cycling
funny.
standby, and I just hope to hit standbys and like my opponent cancels on cycling at least in one lane.
I lost this game at my locals, but it was really good. I hit second deck with like 15 stock because I asked my opponent to triple cancel and he did. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
but you still lost that game.
I lost. I refreshed like 8 and 10, and then I still died.
Yeah, but you invested a lot that game, right? All that stock. All right. Star Wars,
I think it's tier 3.
Tier 3? I don't play the deck. I never played the 4-color deck. I think you did.
I play it. I think if you're playing 4-color, I think it's tier 3. Your level 0, level 1 game is all serviceable. Level 2, you're kind of a little weak. Level 3 is still all right. Like, it's like if you have the stock for it, just like Vader almost guarantees a reverse just because he can force things around. And then like if for whatever reason you had a really, really good game that game, you can also drop down the Jabba and then blow your board up at the end to deal extra damage or as much as you need.
Oh yeah, I like that. The fact that Jabba extends, kind of like before with Angel Beats, right?
Yeah,
I always liked that. It's a pretty interesting thing. I guess if we're fighting on reverse combos too.
Well, the on reverse combo is AK.
No, but so, I mean on the reverse combos for level 3, defensively against other sets, you can blow up your board with Jabba and they have to attack empty lanes.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of good. All right, I think I'm cool with that. Sinful Gear.
Tier 0
in our heart. Yeah. This is exactly
right. Dude, I almost want to put this at tier 4, but I know it's not that bad. It's a tier 3 set. Yeah. I'm so glad Bushiroad decided to look at Symphogear's play and say, nah, you're good, fam.
Have this reprinting cards that like already exist in the other sets and then just like oh man.
They're just giving it to a different character.
That double drop search that has the cost of clocking yourself.
Oh god, yeah.
But it gets 3k power. By the way, that drop search is also name locked. That's how good it is.
Man, I thought.
Oh man,
you guys are calling that a Ricky. That was just a drop search.
Yo, it's a Ricky because it has the cost of a Ricky, except worse. So I think to be fair though, the new set isn't out completely yet and all that. The new Tsubasa looks really interesting. So
yeah,
I mean
the Mocha Tsubasa does look interesting. I think that's honestly the only interesting card they've released.
I think when it comes out, it might push it to tier 2, but it's just too early to say anything, right? So I think tier 3 is fine for what's out right now. Maybe Nico and I will probably revisit this like a week or so after Sinful Gear drops and let you guys know that we wasted a lot of money again. All right.
Feels bad, man.
Solid tier here.
I don't know any of those cards.
I don't know why this is on here.
It's like Runner. I think it's like I think this list was like from Japan and wasn't like things that topped in like their qualifiers or something.
All right. Gurren Lagann.
Am I right about that?
I'm not
Oh,
sure.
the deck's the top.
I'm not sure. So we pulled this off of Tier Maker, obviously, because someone already made this. The only set we're really missing here is Card Captain Sakura, right? I think it is for like something that's new.
It's just going.
It's really new. It basically not enough, but I would argue that it's top of tier 2, bottom of tier 1. But
we're also missing a couple other sets, like the really bad sets, like
but they're
Angel
really
Beats,
bad
Charlotte.
sets. You know, if it's not on here, it's obviously going to be in tier 4, most likely, right?
Yeah.
There's just a lot of sets in tier 4 that just aren't in this list. Gurren Lagann.
3 or 2, it's got a really good merch.
I don't even think it's worth.
I think it's tier 3. It's tier 3.
It's probably tier 3.
JP easily.
Mm-hmm. I think it's like, tier 3. I won't even complain. TLR.
4.
Tier 4. Well, I guess if we really want to argue,
if you have
Wormhole, I guess you can have tier 3.
I think it's tier 3 just because of Wormhole. Otherwise, everything else will put it in tier 4. Like I said earlier, I think right now we're kind of shifting into the meta of where a lot of really good standby sets are just gonna like start dominating for the most part, or standby in general is just such a good combo that people are gonna be playing it more often. That you'll have way more targets you want to bounce, so that you want to just get rid of.
Sure.
And Golden Darkness is still a really, really good finisher, considering it's hexproof. You also have access to a money counter, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
It digs for its climax. So, I can easily concede tier 3.
Vivid Strike. I think
Runner, Ricky, clean cut, good early plays. It's tier 4.
Exactly. That's so sad. Yeah, dude, I'm so glad we basically all agree.
Hold on, you guys actually think it's tier 4?
Yeah,
I
I
have
actually think
SP
it's tier
clean
4.
cuts, and I still think this set sucks. it's like I'm over here, and like my top end is like heal burned one. Like you can't play Fuka anymore. You can't sit on that. It might be tier 3. Wait.
I was gonna argue
that 1/1 Fuka can be really disgusting. The one that gets markers.
All right, this conversation's done. If we're gonna argue about 1/1 Fuka, all right, go ahead and argue it then if you're actually being serious about it.
No, I mean, like, I'm just saying, like, decks, outside of like the standby matchups, right? Like a lot of decks can't handle this thing that's like 7/5 after reverse, and then you back up once, and then you get a second marker. Like after you get second marker on like the 1/1 Fuka, that can just like carry you through a lot of these like some of these decks. Like unless they like you can force an anti-change or a bomb on like this garbage card. It's got good utility. I mean, what else is in tier 3?
I feel like it like the stuff in tier 3. Like okay, so like if we ignored tier 1 and tier 2, I think
it's definitely not there.
Yeah, Vivid Strike would easily be tier 3 because it's only fighting against the things in tier 3. But I think once you get past tier 3, it's just
most
like
of these decks give up reverses. A lot of these do give up reverses. You can get your Shimakaze off. But the problem is like the deck manipulation, it sucks.
It's really bad, and I really hate like that. If you can either play Gold Bar Gate or Gold Bar, or I think there's was it Stock Soul Gate is also a version you can play.
Like a thing.
I don't know. I don't want to put into tier 3 I just feel like it's not good enough. What do you think, Nico?
I will say, if we're going to try to compare it to some of the sets we have in tier 3, like against Rewrite, I don't think it belongs there. But man, like the set has so many good cards, but Dean's right, they just don't come together very well.
It's got like the same deck manipulation of like Gurren.
Oh wait, really quick. We said tier 4 for Steins Gate, right?
3.
Oh, why did we put it in 3? We really did put it in 3? Okay,
yeah.
I'll leave it there. For some reason, I thought it was tier 4.
I will say, if we're putting in decks like Saikano and Steins Gate into tier 3, then I think Vivid Strike deserves tier 3. I don't think it's like worse than those decks.
It has a Reiki and has a clean cut.
Okay, look, the spookiest part about damn it, Vivid Strike is that like the 8 gold bard list is really spooky, and that it puts people on a clock if they're playing. What's the Fuka? Not Fuka. Is it Fuka? What's the green card?
Fuka. It's the Fuka. Yeah, but you put down the Fuka, and then you tell them, I hope you don't have an anti-change counter or like a bomb in your deck.
Yeah, exactly. Look at all the stuff up here. It just gets answered so easily. That's like the best thing Vivid Strike has going for it. So
Well, you can play 8 healers.
So you're forced into this weird healed game where they have to front attack your level 3 or whatever and burn 1 on front attack, but you don't care because they have the chance to heal to make sure they don't die instantly.
Well, they have a burn 1 counter too, so you can burn 2 times.
All right,
it's got Sayaka's Wish also, so like I don't want to just give it tier 3.
Okay, well, if you're both pretty adamant about it, I'll put it in tier 3.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're arguing between tier 3 and tier 4.
Yeah, why are we doing this?
All
right, I don't have enough experience with this set.
No idea.
Yeah, it's that like what is it called? Like Yuna something?
Yuragi Yuna, I think.
Yeah.
Hot Springs.
Yeah, I don't have enough experience with the Hot Springs set. When I first released it, looked really interesting. Yeah, it's just bad. It looked really interesting, but it was just, I don't know if it's like even worth mentioning, you know. Kill tier 4.
Yeah.
Was it?
It keeps winning.
Yeah.
It does keep winning,
look,
but
we're not gonna look at America results, dude. Like
one person at Worlds is always repping it. It has to be tier 1 confirmed.
Nah, I think it's like a tier 3 set. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's argue this 1 second.
Damn.
I forgot.
It has that disgusting early play.
Yeah,
it does have a pretty disgusting early play.
Oops, I had a brainstorm on the board and a level 3. I guess my
not anymore. Yeah.
So okay, let's see. The things it has going for it is the 1-0 dragon counter, right?
Yeah.
The deck plays like a semi compression game with the stock soul combo on the level 1, so it pulls things from waiting room. It's kind of good. It's kind of hard to get multiple reverses against the set if they are playing the dragon counter, because you can do things where like you're going to give them 1 lane no matter what. So they kill that 1 lane, you pump something, was it 1500 from the 1-0?
1500.
Yeah, 1500 power in 1 lane. They attack the next card, you sack the thing that was already reversed to buff the other card, and like give the last card give the last card the power plus 2 levels, so they can't side attack it anymore if they want damage. That's pretty good, right? And it can't. It's the set overall is kind of tough at level 1 to deal with if you need the reverses. That is.
Yeah, and then it's also like.
Yeah, the early play is really, really good. I guess we're actually seems the worst part about it is the top end. Like it has restand and burn 1.
Climax combo list restand.
Yeah, but I mean Milky Homes is the same thing, but I think Milky Homes is better than Rewrite. I mean not Rewrite, Railgun.
Railgun, yeah.
Railgun / Index, I guess.
Okay. I have played Milky Homes against Railgun. It feels really bad. Because
if Railgun like drops their level 3 and then all of a sudden
even their level 1 combo is so disgustingly strong. You're just sitting there and you're like, wow, that's a huge revenge trigger you just got. I'm not allowed to front your board anymore unless I crash. And then they get to level like 2 and like your Ellies die and you're like, oh no. Oh no, my board's
that was before like the PR cards came out. I think level 2 early play stuff that Milky Homes has is just like good now.
The draw 2 ditch one is like enough to make up for the fact your Ellie died.
Yeah, and you can kill the early plays with the 2-1s and stuff like that. I don't know. Wait, are we arguing over tier 2 right now?
This is tier 2, right?
This is tier, yeah.
What?
What? Wait, Nico, really?
What? I don't think it's tier 4.
I think it's tier 2.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fine.
Okay, so we're all in agreement. Okay, I thought you were saying tier 2 was like obnoxious. Like, why would you choose that?
I think if I was to make the argument, it's high tier 3, low tier 2, just because. But like certain cards kind of push it over into tier 2, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue the deck has is that
Priestess Wall comes down, and then Priestess Wall is gone.
That is also true.
And your supports are gone.
Yeah, but they still get okay. So let's meme for a second. Triple Priestess Wall against their early plays. You can get rid of 2 of them, but all the triggers still happen because does it happen on climax placement or on start of attack phase?
Pretty sure it's when climax is played.
Because that changes everything. Because if it's when climax plays, then they only get -1 soul everywhere. If you like triple priestess for whatever reason,
You make them better. You make them
You
actually
actually make
swing
their
for better
swings better.
numbers.
That's pretty funny. What else? Well, I mean, you go ±1 basically again the lane where you have empty board now and you're swinging to empty board. But
Yeah.
yeah, I guess it's pretty good.
It's just what happens at level 3 and level 1 are just so obnoxious. Or level 2 and level 1 are so obnoxious for decks to deal with. That's like the biggest thing, right?
Yeah, I think the thing that pushes it over the edge is definitely its early play, but I still think the top end is just pretty mediocre at best. It's susceptible to anti-damage, rest counter. It has to be able to reverse things.
It's the best like rogue deck here, right? I mean,
it's probably you're probably right on that. The best rogue deck. It's something. Well, is there any other early plays that just like can't be answered because they can't be targeted?
Terraformers.
All right, sets on this tier list that are relevant.
Symphogear.
Symphogear has untargetable?
2 Loveru.
If you're playing the 2-1 event, yeah, you can bring out the Hibiki from set 2 that has cancel burn or whatever and it's hexproof, but that's it.
2
Loveru. Yeah, but that's not. That's, shut up, dude.
I'm just trying to be helpful.
Puyo Puyo has a hexproof support that makes your level 3s untargetable.
Mm-hmm. I think Standby Sunshine has access to non-targetable level 3s that can come out early. Or not come out early like to play, but through standby if they trigger, which is like yeah, maybe yeah. I don't think
there's
there might be no level
about being like
the
only set that can blow up a board. Like
AOT can shut 2 lanes off for them for blowing up the board because they can early play their level 3 and they can't target the level 3 in the back row either. So they can't kill that as well, which is like the most targetable thing.
Sure. I mean, but there's a lot to be said though about like even the decks that have like so much free advantage, like even they don't expect though to like lose their back row, right? Like nobody expects to lose their back row.
Yeah,
and I think that alone,
that is something I guess to consider. It like doing the combo though kind of like hurts your hand some, and usually people are playing Gate Stock Soul instead of like 2K1 Stock Soul, which is like some people advocate for, but I still think is wrong just because of how the set is. You'd rather have the Gate, but yeah. Yeah,
wait, can't you just play Railgun on a 2-soul? Why wouldn't you just do that?
Because you blow up their board and you're swinging in for 5 minimum, and then you trigger that 2-soul.
That's
7.
game.
That's a whole level.
That's a level of damage.
That's
it all makes sense
swings
now.
And they die from 2-0.
Yeah, Railgun's definitely solid tier 2 though, I guess. All right.
Our tier 3 decks are pretty bad.
And the last thing is Cardcaptor Sakura, which is basically the not enough experience thing. But from what I'm seeing so far, I'm pretty confident to say it's like easy tier 2, maybe tier 1. But yeah, I think that's it, right? You guys have anything else to add in here? Is there anything missing that you guys want to talk about?
I will say it bears mentioning Gene, or what is it, Daybreak Collusion, top to regional.
All right, dude.
Ooh.
But it's a solid tier 4, if we're going to put it.
Solid tier 4.
Solid tier 4?
Solid
It's
tier
a tier 5. You need a new tier for that set.
I think we covered everything, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to be updating this list too soon. Maybe right before World Finals, because then we'll have a lot more sets out then. We can maybe Railgun tops again. We'll move stuff around and talk about if anything changes, because we're going to have sets like there's a new Review Starlight set, which will probably impact the set a ton because it's just adding so much new utility, and maybe that set won't be name locked as bad. And then what else is coming out before then? New Psychono, which will
new Symphogear.
New Symphogear. 2 new Symphogears technically.
Yeah.
Anything else before Worlds?
I think there's a couple sets we might be forgetting, but I don't want to look them up right now.
Yeah, me either.
It wasn't. I don't think there was anything too interesting, or that caught my interest anyway.
Yeah, and then I guess thank you to Chairman Wang down here in the bottom left-hand corner. He was the one who created, or he or she, I think it's a he. Well, whoever they are, they made this on Tier Maker. If you can, go ahead and update it with Cardcaptor Sakura. Thanks. Other than that, I think that's it for us. You guys have any last minute shout outs?
Shout outs to Macross never getting another set.
Oh, yeah.
GG5, please. It'll be meta relevant.
All right, if that's it, then we'll guys see you in the next video. Later. Before you go, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel if you do enjoy our content, as it does help us grow, and check out some of these social media links below.